During a recent interview with Sebastian Gorka, Donald Trump continued to promise what he has been quite frequently recently, which is they're going to indict me. Well, I'm going to indict them then. And I'll show you this moment and then we'll discuss really dangerous rhetoric.
Numbers are through the roof. We're beating everybody by a lot, and we're beating Biden by a lot. And one of the reasons, it was interesting, somebody wrote a very strong piece the other day. I could tell you who, but let's not even use his name because perhaps you wouldn't want it. But wrote a very strong piece that they're afraid to have me back in. That's why they're doing the indictment stuff, because they don't want to be indicted. Now, I would do it only very fairly, of course.
Of course.
But they don't want to be indicted. So they said, we can't let this guy win. But there was tremendous corruption on the other side. Don't forget, they spied on my campaign, and we caught them.
False.
They did things that nobody would have believed. Then they had 2 fake impeachments that we won, and so much else. The Mueller report, which showed no collusion at the end of 2 years, showed no collusion.
Okay, so we also heard a similar sentiment during his recent Bedminster speech.
In addition to closing the border and removing all of the criminal elements that have illegally invaded our country, making America energy independent and even dominant again, and immediately ending the war between Russia and Ukraine, I'll have it ended in 24 hours. I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family.
So what's fascinating is we've heard from Republicans for a while now. We've talked about this a lot this week and even just on the show, that there's this 2-tier justice system designed to go after conservatives and benefit Democrats, and that's what Trump is a victim of. And the evidence they bring forward is not evidence. They don't bring forward evidence, I guess. It's just the accusation, very empty. And that is going to then be the justification to actually weaponize the government against people based on their political affiliation. And if Trump were to become president, he actually is committing to weaponizing his office to go after his political opponents, to go after the Biden crime family. It's not let the system play out. If there's crimes, investigate them. If there's something that is a clear violation of the law and has evidence for that can be proven in a court of law, all of that, let the process play itself out. As president, I want to be separated from that. No, it's going to be, I'm going to figure out a way to get Biden locked up. And it's a similar thing we're seeing with this weaponization subcommittee within the House of Representatives, where it's, by its name, is supposed to be looking into the weaponization of the federal government. But in reality, it's those individuals in their positions in the federal government weaponizing that position in the federal government to help Trump politically and to perpetuate these conspiracy theories about the FBI doing this thing and that thing, and Twitter, and Jim Jordan trying to get involved in the Manhattan DA investigation in the name of investigating the weaponization of the federal government. They're weaponizing the federal government. And it's pretty terrifying thinking about the prospect of Trump using his position, if, God forbid, he were able to get back into that position in that way. One other narrative that kind of was intertwined in that little clip you saw was one he also recently posted about on True Social. Here's a screenshot. It says, Congress will hopefully now look at the ever-continuing witch hunts and election interference against me on perfectly legal boxes. Of course, that doesn't seem to be accurate. And what I've been warning of and talking about a good bit on my show, you can find that at Luke Beasley on YouTube. Definitely go check out my show if you are liking what you're watching now, is that Trump is preparing, similar to how he did before 2020, to claim election interference, there was fraud. But this time, while he'll probably include dead voters, and we talked about earlier in today's show, Ruby Freeman, and claims like that, the suitcases and ballot stuffing and big massive dumps of ballot dumps all over the place, he will probably make those claims as well. And on top of it, he'll say it was rigged if he loses to Joe Biden because of election interference. When in reality, what we're seeing is just Trump being held accountable for his violations of the law. It has been great being with you today. One more reminder to check me out at Luke Beasley on YouTube. Make sure you are also subscribed to this YouTube channel, The David Pakman Show, and I will see you, if you're a member, on the bonus show.